Welcome to Friday Focus, April 22nd, 2016. We're going to talk about something that you've heard about before and how it applies to our business. And you've heard of the theory of evolution. You might have also heard the term Darwinism or Darwin, Charles Darwin. And the theory of evolution was the theory of how creatures evolve. And of course, sometimes it goes back to a religious debate about whether or not there was intelligent design. And we're not going to talk about that, obviously. We're going to talk about things do evolve. And when things evolve, they evolve because of different stresses. For example, if an animal is living for millions of years in an area that was really wet at one time, it was able to handle the wetness. And if the area becomes arid and dry, turns into a desert, it's got to evolve into a creature that can handle less moisture. Well, how does that apply to us? Well, it applies a lot. We have to evolve. We've gone from starting this practice 12 years ago to where we are now with, multiple locations, multiple providers, usually just be me and a handful of people, multiple services that we offer. And if we try to do things exactly the way we did in 2004, we'll fail. Okay, and that's not really possible. So we have to evolve. And sometimes when I talk about making changes, people are bothered by it because we don't do it that way. We've never had to do it that way. That's not the way we do things. And really, if we can't accept evolution of our practice, we can't grow. So we do things exactly the same way we're doing now, 10 years from now. That's going to tell us that we really haven't grown. We haven't grown the practice. We haven't grown ourselves professionally or personally. And hopefully we can continue to grow. One of the biggest barriers of growth is fear of change. A lot of times you're in a situation where change is kind of forced upon you and you have to adapt and it makes you uncomfortable. You're not sure how it affects you. What happens if you do change or don't change? Why are we changing? And that's something that's important. Your leadership communicates to you why we're making changes, and change will be happening all the time. And in reality, you should expect change to occur with a relatively rapid pace. In fact, you can predict your success personally and professionally by how often and how much change you make in your life. If you look at your family life, if you don't adapt to your kids growing up by changing the way you interact with them, you've got these adults that are treated like babies, right? And that's horrible. And if you don't let your teenage kid, leave the roost and go develop their own, go to college and go start their own family, then we'll have these multi-generational families living together. So we have to evolve in our personal life, and we have to evolve in our professional life. A lot of people will be growing in different roles, who might be changing the role that you're doing. If we don't do that, that means we're stagnant. To make this a little easier to understand, I want our business, everybody in our business that is interested in growing and developing themselves, to read a book. And Maria's going to order a bunch of copies, and then if you want to just buy one on your own, because you like keeping books, just go to Barnes & Noble or something like that, buy it. But it's called Who Moved My Cheese? It's by Spencer Johnson. And I read this book, years ago. It's actually written in 1998, so about almost 20 years ago, but it still applies today. It's basically a parable or a business fable talking about, I'm going to tell you it because it's kind of cute to read it, but it's talking about how people or how creatures respond to change, and what happens when you don't respond to change and you want things to keep being the way they are, and versus, let's say you do respond to change, you embrace change, where you can go. Okay, so if you're living, like I moved out here in this area in Shelby Township in 96, and I liked it out because there was nothing around. And then they built a Walmart, a Myers and a Home Depot and Target in this building here. And I had to change the fact that, my life's different. But then my kids have grown up too. Now I don't really need that rural environment. I'm not riding the motorcycles down the street and stuff like that. We have a paved road now. It was dirt when I moved here. So responding to change is very important. So Maria's going to order a bunch of these copies of the books and distribute them in the office, and then you can take them home and share them. And if you want to just get one yourself on your Kindle or buy it, just give us a receipt and we'll take care of the cost of it, about $12. Explain to you how to respond to change. And why are we responding to change? Because we are a growth-based business. We're trying to grow at a certain percentage every year, and as I explained to you at the Tuesday morning meeting, the first quarter we're up by 44%. And if we continue at that pace, we're going to easily double the amount of business we're doing in 2 years, and we cannot accommodate that much work without changing our roles. I was in a meeting the other day with the call center, with the front desk rather, We decided that at Shelby we're going to disband the front desk and break it up into different departments because it was really too much for one person to sort of manage. And we were trying to train everybody to do everything. We realized, well, we got to change now. And what do we do right now? We copy other people in our same profession, with the, the having an office set up and the doctor sees the patient and then the certain process that occurs. But we're going to change these things. We're making a major change in hormone replacement. Stephanie's been with us for 10 years, a little over 10 years. She's getting married, moving to Arkansas. So unless patients want to drive down to Arkansas, they're going to be seeing somebody different. And we're going to be changing the way we're handling hormone replacement as well. It's kind of an opportunity for us to look at what we're doing and look at opportunities. I met with Angie and Megan. We talked about their growth. They've been really busy. And I asked them, what would happen if we had hair services at other offices? Oh, all the patients come right from, from all over. They'll come here to see us for their hair because it's so important to them. And they'll drive for miles, but in reality, the people that are 5 miles from our office here in Shelby are about 50 times more likely to come in than somebody who lives, say, 20 miles away. So we're looking at that. That's a change. And that's something we have to adopt. And she's going to train somebody to do that out there. If we look at the call center, we had a call center up here, and I was really bothered by moving the call center downstairs. I like to communicate with them. I like to walk up front and see how they're doing. I can respond immediately to things, but we're out of room. So we have to change. We have to move them downstairs. We have to accept the fact that we're growing and we need more people. I'm very bothered by changing to electronic medical record. As you get older, you're less, kind of more resistant to technology, to accepting technology. I'm kind of a techie guy. I like getting I get an iPhone as soon as it comes out. But the reality is we're going to electronic medical record, and I put medical records downstairs in Shelby to make it as painful as possible for us to continue to do things the way we are, because we have to change. And you'll be facing times when you've been doing a job for, a lot of you have been here 8, 10 years, and it's changing. And that's actually good. Change is good. Change means that we are adapting and growing and evolving. And just like Darwin showed that animals that did not change their genetics over time would die out. And for us to grow our business, we have different competitors that we did before. Pardon me. When we started out doing the Botox and fillers, we're kind of only game in town. But now people can get Botox and filler done at the gym or at their spa or at their salon. We started doing veins. There's nobody doing veins. Everybody was doing surgical stripping, and we had kind of, it was kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. It was easy to pick up patients and get it done. And then we realized that now pretty much we were 10 years ahead of everybody, but people caught up. And now we have to change by offering better customer service for the same patients and being even more in their own communities. We're building different offices. I didn't want to have to do that. It's very expensive. We spend millions of dollars building out our offices, but that's change. That's what we have to do. We have to adapt. And you'll see change coming in your own job. And the reality is we need to learn to embrace it. And once you read the book, Who Moved My Cheese, you kind of get an understanding of how change is okay, and it's okay to adapt. And that's what I want to discuss at today's Friday Focus, is that things are going to be changing. And the faster we change, actually the faster we grow. And if you notice there's more changes lately, you can see a lot of new faces on the floor working with you, because we've had a big surge in growth because we made some changes to lead to the surge in growth. Now we got to change the number of people working here, and we'll make more changes to accommodate them. We got to change our systems. So change is good. Accept it, and that'll allow us to grow. Thank you.